Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Cinco de Mayo, the year 2020. We are probably on the back end of a pandemic, and my name is Clark Brown, Restoration Advisors, and I have decided to start a vlog. What was I thinking? So, what am I thinking? I watch vlogs online about different things. Some of it not anywhere near restoration. It's a great way. It's a great casual way to get information. It's entertaining. Here's what I know. This is not going to be very entertaining. I would say in a year from now, maybe 2, 3, I don't know if I'm even still doing this. I'm going to look back at this piece of work and I'm going to be like, it's going to be cringeworthy. This is where I'm starting as my first one. Why am I doing this? Just another way to get information out. I love sharing information, educating other people, shorten the curve of difficulty and trials and tribulations. It's what I do. Don't really get paid that well for it. I'm an advisor, I'm a coach. Sometimes people see it and say, hey, let's work together. But more times than not, I end up giving away way more than I should or than people expect, only to not have much left to coach on. I don't care. It's fine. It's just the way it works. What I do love, what I do know is that on the scale of experience, I feel like I'm about a 6 or a 7 for this industry. There's a lot of things I don't know. And when I'm saying the scale, I'm looking at 1 to 10 is where you don't know anything, and 10 is you know as much of everything as you can, right? So I'm at a 6 or 7. There's a whole lot of people in that 7 up to 10, or that 8 to 10. People who know drying like the back of their hands. People who know the pH balance of every chemical. Again, a lot of book smart. I'm right where I'm at. I know a little bit about a lot of things. I know a lot of it about some more things. But I'm right here. So when I started educating, when I started Restoration Advisors, when I start to do anything, I'm doing some online courses right now. I've got a lot of things going on contrary to any real. So again, I don't know if this is really working out well, but I'll tell you what I'll learn after this. So back to my story. I'm around 7, maybe 6 arguably. There are people over on the expert side, but there's a lot more below. You have to, in your whatever you do, you can't let the negative about all the reasons why not to do something get in your way. There are maybe thousands of people from 2 to 5 to 6 who would love to watch some videos, to love to watch the things that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to have online courses which are going to be very dialed in, but the vlogs are just going to be more topical, educational. I'm going to be looking for comments, some feedback, email me. We're going to see where this thing goes. Why am I doing it? Is because it's just something different. I'm evolving. I'm changing. I don't want to keep doing what I've been doing. I'd like to do things in a different way. What's involved with it? A lot. Again, I watch some really professional vlogs. I mean, there's some people on YouTube that make millions of dollars a year off of this. It's not what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have conversations. I'm looking to have intimate, personal, friendly conversations. I'm probably going to get much better at this. I'm probably going to, there's the hardware, which I have. I'm using my DSLR camera as opposed to an iPhone. iPhones work great too. I'm using my camera. I've got speakers, little lav mics, remote microphones. I have lighting somewhat. I have a backdrop. These are all things that the experts say you need. What I don't, and then after the video, there's some editing that's going to have to go on. Things like that. The professionals, they have B-roll. They have those extra little images and slides and words across the scene. I don't know that I will, but I may have a little thing here at the bottom pop up with my name. I don't know what elements I'm going to add right now. Later, as I do this more, as I see it benefiting something, I may improve it. But I've got some software, but it's going to be, it's just more and more and more. So really it's going to demand on the feedback and where it goes. So why I'm doing this, a few reasons. And as I start making these series, I'll make it real serious about keeping it organized. This was my first one. I just wanted to kind of announce what I'm doing. While I'm doing it, it's just going to be random stuff. Today, the random stuff is, and I just literally saw this a few minutes ago. I read R&R Magazine has announced what they call the Ladder Award, Ladder, Ladder. It's literally a showcasing and a encouragement for young and any emerging leaders in our industry, whether they be for the industry or their own company. It's a nomination situation, but it's something that I'm very true about. I've blogged about who are our future leaders. You know, we've got Jeremy Reeds, and by the way, the leaders we have now aren't going anywhere, but they won't be here forever. It's time to start growing the garden now. Who are the future Chuck DeWalt? Who are the future Kurt Boldens and Rachel Adams and Jeremy? I mentioned Jeremy and John Otero and Chuck Violan and things like that. So these are people who are iconic in our industry. Who are the next ones? Who's taking their place? And in maybe not even in the same realm or same genre, but where does it go from now? I know a few that I look upon as future superstars now, but future icons. So this award is going to be great. I'm going to be watching this closely. I think I'm going to follow directions. I've got some people I would nominate. So great to Michelle and to the team over at R&R for that. I love it, love it, love it. And I will support them and what they're doing in any way that they can. Secondly, I was talking to, and this is something I really want you to listen to and tune in. Okay, so I was talking to another restorer today, a good friend of mine out of Atlanta, Northwest Atlanta area, named Drew Blackwell. Many of you know Drew, phenomenal operator, wealth of experience, has really, really, really done a great job building his company. And I don't think he'll mind if I release this. And if he does, I don't usually ask for permission. I usually ask for forgiveness. Drew and I were talking today. Today actually was the 4th anniversary of his company that he owns. If you ask Drew what's it been like, he'll say it's been interesting. It's been wild. It's been ever changing. Drew, we shared some things today. He told me that, you gotta, he's right. He's in a good place right now. Not the goal, but where where he's at, he's satisfied with it. He has just bought a new building. He's in Cartersville, Georgia. He's now at that point in his company's life where he's getting organic leads. And I'm not talking about Google SEO. He might be getting some of that. No pay-per-click, no AdWords, no third-party, program work, word of mouth, relationships, how every large company starts out. His kids are on the soccer team. Their names of his company is on the back. His trucks are riding around. He does things for his community, and he's now being looked upon in his own backyard as the expert of what he does. And that's creating a huge amount of work for him. Not huge. So that's where he's at. But we also talked about a few other things. He said, when he first started in the industry, because he worked for a really large company before, there was a point in our careers, and all of you watching probably remember this, where you didn't talk about your business openly. You didn't congregate with competitors in general or others in the industry. You might be a part of a small, tight association or a mastermind or a focus group, and you would talk to them. But generally, people in your market, social media didn't exist that much long ago. You didn't talk about the jobs you're on and where you're getting your work from and helping others, but we do now. And the results of that have been monumentally exhilarating for a lot of people. I told him, we talked about it, is I get lots of calls, and I keep rubbing my face, don't I? It's probably bad to do on camera, rub your head. I get calls once a month, every 2 months. I've got a consulting line that people can, strangers, just call, or they click a link, book time with me. They're looking to start a business. They're looking to start restoration. They don't know whether, what to do, construction, mitigation only, do mold work, what do they not know, franchise, independent, all these kinds of questions. I get these all the time. Phoenix, Dry Ease, other Okay. That alone, the amount of volume of those calls that I get tells me that there is a huge opportunity for more education, for more community, for more unity. And so when these people call, it tells me that there's not there's a lot of places they could get information, but it's not easy to find them. You can scroll through YouTube. You're going to find a few people in our industry talking. Most people are usually selling something, though. Use my business. I'm telling you, I'm giving you something so that you use my business. So Drew and I were talking about, these things, and he said, what's the biggest piece of advice you give to people? And you'll be interested to hear what I told him. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I give any restorer that's maybe even already in business, 6 months in or something like that, is get to know other restorers. Find a tribe and a circle and start knowing and identify what you will and will not put up with. Like, you can really get linked up with the wrong people, and you've got to be okay by saying, this is what I stand for, and I understand this might be a financially short-term beneficial relationship, but it can hurt your image by hanging out with the charlatans of this industry, the chasers and whatnot. So that quick buck might be what you need at that moment, but it's not going to be what you need long term. But surround yourself with others like you, some with strengths that you don't have, some with specializing in other things, some that are killing it on marketing and terrible on operations, and you're great on ops, but you're terrible on marketing. You feed off of each other, right? So, but find others. Go to trade shows and hang out for the weekend with these groups. Figure out what makes people tick. Now, the social media, Facebook, LinkedIn groups, the Rebels, NORP, all of them, have helped solidify that theory, that process. But the problem with that is you've got to weed out online who's real and who's not, who's giving advice that they don't know what they're talking about. People are quick to give advice on things they don't know anything about, or that they only know what they know and they don't know they are doing it the wrong way. So that's very, very relevant. I see some really bad, really harmful advice going out through social media. It is what it is. If you're mature enough to not jump onto something too quickly, kind of vet it out, fact check it, do that. Hold on, let me turn my ringer off on my phone over here. If you don't, then be real careful, okay? So find a tribe, find a circle. Drew, back to our conversation, has that tribe. He has work that he trades off work a lot with even competitors in his market. Places it a little too far. He's got a little bit too much going on. It's not his specialty. Whatever it is. Or even, I know Drew, and again, I'm really kind of focusing on him because we talked today. I know Drew well enough to say that if he knew of one of his peers that had been having a terrible quarter and just needed some revenue, Drew is the kind of guy, and I like to think I am too. Hey, why don't you take this job? I know it's a good one. I could use it, but looks like this would mean a lot more for you and your team and your crew. Your guys need to get out there and do it. That's how we grow. So that's my advice to people is get around that. My other advice, this has kind of turned into a little advice corner because that's what I want the vlog to be. I want to get feedback of what you want to talk about. I'm just going to end up giving advice on things that I know or even asking questions about things I don't know. So the question is, how do I put this? Speaking with Drew, speaking with a couple of other colleagues of mine, what you realize as you go through this campaign, this adventure of growing and starting your own business, you might have some unrealistic perceptions on what your growth is going to look like. You may have set some goals, which are ideal. You need some goals, but how to get there. I've talked to people who have told me that it wasn't until year 7 to 10 that they felt like they had a company that was starting to kind of sustain itself. That seems unreal to some people. And some people will tell me from watching this that there's no way. I had a great business in a year. You had revenue, but you didn't have a business. A business is not a company producing $3 million a year. That's revenue, but that's not a sustainable business. A business is something that has value that can be sold. A business is something that starts to have entrenched staff with processes and procedures that can be multiplied and replicated over multiple locations or multiple divisions that allow you, as the owner, the leader, or wherever you are in your company, the ability to move up and to move forward and to move on from where you are. The place for an owner is not to be on every job. It's not to be giving every estimate or sitting up at night and doing exact estimate. That's not the job. I know we have to do that. And I know there's times that you have to. The job of the owner is to build his business to the point where, or she, where they can go to the trade shows. They can go spend a week with another restorer across. There's somebody in Iowa that you say, you know what, I like how you run your business. From what I see, it looks great. Can I come out and spend 3-4 days shadowing you? Okay. The idea of being able to do that in some people's business doesn't exist where they are now because they don't have a business that can run without them. I know people and have clients that literally only have to go in 2 days a week or more if they want to, but they've got it so dialed in that the staff has the vision, the execution, the KPIs, the measurements are there to monitor what's going on. There's things in place. That doesn't come quickly. Number one, the people aren't there, the right people. You're going to hire the wrong people. You're going to hire family. You're going to hire friends. You're going to make some knee-jerk hires of just a warm body. They're not going to sustain long term. You've got to kind of go through a couple of cycles, and get the right people until you get in there. So then you get to a point where you've got a company, you've been in business 11, 12 years. You're going to take the summer off. Why? Who knows? Any multitude of reasons. Maybe you want to go hike the Appalachian Trail. Maybe you want to go to Norway and walk the fjords. Maybe you want to rebuild a hot rod with your kids. Maybe you want to camp. Maybe you want to go build a house. You want to go build a tree house. Maybe you want to sit in your office and make vlogs. I don't know, but life is not made to work. Life is made to pursue and achieve dreams. And your business becomes a way for you to do that. A business is, you build it up, you have income, allowing enough for you to go do the things you love to do. Maybe you start more businesses. Maybe you start other businesses that support and provide for that. I have clients who have staffing agencies and dumpster companies. Okay, they pay a ton of money to those other companies. They say, why don't I bring that in-house? Why don't I profit off of all of these things? Classic, right? So those are some of the things. So that's my first vlog. I don't know if anybody's going to watch it. Doesn't matter. I did it. I made it. This is it. I hope you liked it. The future, I know there's going to be multiple cameras, different shots. Maybe I'll be inside, then I'll be outside, then I'll be on the roof. Who knows? I'm not really a fancy person. I'm really kind of a simple. So I like this reading from like this. I just want if the information's good, it doesn't matter, right? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, subscribe to my channel. This will be on my YouTube. This is going to be a series. Drop a comment. Let me know what else you want to hear about. I'll be telling you about some of my online courses I'm putting out, but I might even drop in one of my online courses and put it in here for free. So anyway, you guys be good to each other. Go restore. See ya.